Hey everybody, welcome to Bryn, Travis, and myself talking about the some more spoilers from the Investigator packs that are coming out right away. We have a lot of fun things to talk about, so let's dive in. Starting with Nathaniel Cho's unique card, which is Randall Cho. It's his brother, his concerned brother. It's a 2-cost asset that takes up the ally slot. Commits for a brain, a book, and a wild symbol. It's an ally and a medic. Has 1 meat damage, 3 brain damage, and as I'm going to assume as a reaction after it enters play, heal 3 damage or search your deck or discard pile for a weapon asset, play it, paying its cost, and shuffle your deck. Seems good.
Yeah, this is like ridiculous.
Yeah.
If this was a normal blue card, you'd play it in every deck.
Yes, it's probably good then that it's just for Nathaniel, but it like works perfectly for him, right? Like it can get his boxing gloves.
The weapon tutor is probably a little bit meh compared to how it would be for other guys, because Nathaniel's all about playing punchy events.
Yeah, because the only weapons he'd feasibly want are boxing gloves, right? Like that's the only one. It's like made for him. And I like the concerned brother comes in and says, "Now, Nathaniel, I don't want you to fight, but I brought your boxing gloves, so."
Well, he's like, "Oh, you'll bust up your hands if you don't fight with them."
Yeah, but yeah, I think you're right. Like the healing is going to be great for Nathaniel.
Also so sad damage.
2 for a 4. What is effectively a 4/3 soak is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like he's better than a bulletproof vest.
Wow.
But he also comes. Yeah, like he also comes with most of an Elder Sign amulet.
Yeah.
That's like for less cost, and you don't pay XP for it. That's really good.
I think Nathaniel, I'm pretty stoked about trying him out. I think he's going to be really fun once we can play him in paper. Next up, we got 1-2 Punch. This is the 5 experience version. It's a 2-cost event. It's a spirit and attack. It commits for 5 fists because you're Goro, baby.
That's so much fist.
Fight. You automatically succeed and deal +1 damage for this attack. You may fight again. You get +3 fist and deal +2 damage for that attack.
Yeah,
that's like so much damage.
That's a lot of damage. Like
that's a lot of damage.
That's what, 5 damage?
Yeah.
Yeah, that does your work on the Ghoul Priest, like just assuming you're like, if you're probably going to play this deck for new players in the Gathering, this one card, I mean, you're not going to have it for the first one, but like it does a whole player's worth of work pretty much. It's like, yes. It's exciting.
Yeah, there's a lot of victory enemies who just like, you throw this at them and they're like, cool, yep, I'll die.
Yeah. 5 experience though is very expensive, but I think it's a very, very powerful card. Like, that's so much efficiency in there.
Well, yeah, you're buying this instead of buying, like, your big flamethrower, shotgun, or lightning gun.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because you don't want to play a Bandolier deck, and you want to keep your machete in play or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damn.
But also, sometimes you want to deal 5 damage in one shot.
I love how his symbol is a boxing glove. I love that for his set symbol.
That's all he is.
Level 3, Dynamite Blast. It's a 4-cost tactic event. Commits for 2 brain and 2 fist. Fast, playing during any lightning bolt window. Choose either your location or connecting location. Deal 3 damage to each enemy and investigator at the chosen location. So the change is that now it's 1 resource cheaper and it's fast.
It's fast and you can play it during somebody else's turn.
Okay, that's pretty good. If that's what you're looking to do, I think that's a very solid upgrade.
Yeah,
I mean, there's like the level 2 one costs 4.
The level 2 one costs 4 and doesn't provoke attacks of opportunity, so this one just like takes that a step further.
They're just going further. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I thought using explosives was against the rules in boxing, but shows what I know.
Yeah, and Nathaniel Cho with lighting some dynamite, always unconventional. That one. Cool. All right.
But it's also a guts and an overpower. I guess not both. It can never really be both.
Unless it's in that one Circle Undone one where you test every symbol at once.
Unless.
All right, what do we got next? We have Gret Wagner, level 3. She's a 5-cost ally. That's a hunter. Commits for a fist, a book, and a wild. She's also the subtag, the Purifier. She has 4 meat damage, 2 brain damage. You get +1 fist and +1 book. As a reaction, after you defeat an enemy, exhaust her and deal 1 damage to her. Discover 1 clue at your location or a connecting location.
Yeah, she's like really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you ever wanted your beat cop to make you better at investigating, but also just be like for evidences? Because like this one will do that and take some sanity damage for you on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you could just beat Roland. Or
Yeah,
like be
yeah. I mean, like
super Roland.
if
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
if you're
rolling with
rolling
her?
with this, you're just like Rex, who?
But yeah, no, it's she seems really good for like, especially I think in obviously in solo. She's a
Yeah.
key to a solo guardian or just
And you can discover at a connecting location. That's insane.
that's huge. Yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just be
You're
like
playing-
walking down the street, just rolling in with her and play, and
Yeah.
like you shoot a rat or something, and you're like, we use every part of the rat.
Yeah. Yeah, you run out your evidence, you use this, you're like, get all the clues off this location, but also one from there because I don't need no yellow characters.
Yeah.
Nope.
We also have the blue overpower. This is a 2 experience skill that commits for 3 fists, max 1 per skill test. If this skill test is successful, draw 1 card, 2 cards instead if it succeeds by 2 or more. So
This is like really good for Silas.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he can take it.
You can't, it's not innate, it's
Yeah.
practiced.
Oh, okay.
And expert.
I couldn't remember what his deck building
Yeah,
stuff was.
yeah, he's innate. It would be really good for Silas though.
Well, this is probably just only slots into the Nathaniel deck, really. Then
Yeah, and
Yeah,
oh, sorry, you go, Bryn.
most blue decks don't really want to draw cards because they have enough trouble paying for the cards they have now.
Good point.
So, like, I think if you're playing blue, you generally don't want to be spending experience on this when you could be expending your experience upgrading your vicious blows,
Yeah, what I look
or
at
just a little more efficiency on that.
for a lot of these skill cards upgraded into color, it's kind of like at the end when you're like, I have 2 experience, what should I buy? And I'll just upgrade overpower. For I think the majority of the time, that's where they're going to fall in. They're not priorities for the majority of the investigators, but I do still appreciate that they're there, and I think they will see play, because I think this card's strong, right? But not a priority, right?
Yeah, like this is probably really good if you're playing like a Carolyn Fern deck.
Oh, she's so punchy. She's
Just like following somebody around and supporting them. Plus, if you use it on your own effect and get to draw some cards, that's great because you'll unlike most blue characters, you will have the money to pay for them.
Yeah.
there's a couple characters that can play this with practice makes perfect. It's sort of a toolboxy thing.
That'd be cool.
Like Carolyn can play them, Mark can play them. Because practice makes perfect as a tactic, don't you know? And like Roland can play them, Joe can play them.
That's pretty neat.
Joe probably likes this a lot, actually.
This might be really good in some sort of all-in skids deck.
Yeah. For people watching at home, if you've watched our previous videos and you say, hey, we already talked about one of these cards, that might be the case. I couldn't remember when I was making these slides. So I don't know if we talked about Lesson Learned. I feel like I have, but I also feel like I've never seen this card before in my life. This is a 1-cost event that costs 2 experience as well. It's an insight and a spirit. It commits for a brain and 2 books. Fast. Play after you take damage from an enemy attack. Discover 2 clues at your location.
So the first thing I want to say about this, before anybody says anything, is Calvin Wright can play this card.
Yes, he can, yeah.
Yeah, spirit.
He likes taking damage.
Yep.
Joe can play this. It's an insight. Like, he can play it to good effect.
I think the card's good. Like, I think it's... The game is playing, and you're like, but you know what? I'm also going to play, right?
Sure, you might have just beat the shit out of me, but, like, that's cool.
Yeah, and like...
Yeah, this is one of those cards, like, where we talk about things being a trap because you imagine, like, perfect world scenario. But this one's, like, pretty easy to make happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you can even just make this one happen if you really want to.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, even, like, getting half the card of even just 1 clue for 1 damage, you're still going to be like, that's fine. Like, I still progressed by doing something, right? Because, like,
Yeah, there's some situations where, like, you can use it to, like, scum 3 clues during your turn if you need that to advance the agenda or whatever, because you do an attack, or you do an investigate action, take your attack for opportunity, play this, and then, like, succeed your investigation or whatever.
Do you guys know offhand of when the attack of opportunity happens? Like, so say if I moved, would it happen before or after I moved?
think it happens before you move.
Okay.
Yeah, they happen before.
Yeah.
Cool. Just wondering, because if it was after, you could play this after, but that sounds about right.
I mean, it still works just like the other way.
Yeah.
Man, how many clues can you get as a blue investigator now? Like, you're sitting on a location and a monster spawns on you, and you're like, this is a scene of a crime. And then you do something like draw a card, and you're like, I'll play this card.
And then you kill it with Great Wagner, and then you get like 5 clues in one turn.
So many clues.
Well, you know, that's only fair because yellow is really good at doing damage now.
It's true. They have to start swimming into each other's lanes. All right, what do we got next? This is another card. Bryn, do you know what the art for Galvanize is from? Because it looks like I've seen this on 20 cards before.
Not off the top of my head,
yeah,
no.
I don't know. Okay. Galvanize is a 2-cost spirit event that costs 1 experience to put into your deck. Commits for 2 brain symbols. Fast, play only during your turn. Ready, a guardian asset you control. You may take an additional action during your turn, which can only be used to fight.
That's just, like, pretty neat.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's, like, really good. You're paying... So it's, like, you get to ready your Beat Cop or whatever, or your Gret Wagner. And then... you're paying 2 mana for a free action.
Yeah, even if you're not readying an asset, like you're readying an asset that isn't exhausted.
It's passive.
This is like Swift Reflexes, which is a fairly solid green card. Like at its worst, that's what this is really.
Mm-hmm. And even then, like you're blue, so you're gonna want to fight. So your action being a fight, you're like, yeah. That's a game. That's why I'm here, right?
That's what I do.
Yeah.
But you can also use it in that deck that Travis always tries to make work, where you're playing Shaving Man in your deck because you have to exhaust him to get the buff.
Try to make that one happen very often, but I do like it.
I'm with you, Travis.
Yeah.
Shaving Man
So you can use this to ready Shaving Man and then punch again.
Yeah, well prepared.
It's pretty alright. Yeah, sure, whatever. I know it has a name, but
it's always Shaving Man.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
I think we did talk about Clean Them Out. I have it here again. It's a 0-cost event, Spirit Tactic. Brain in a Fist, fight when this action begins, gain 2 resources. I think this card, some of the people in the comments, I remember because it all came rushing back to me, said we weren't too high on this the first time we talked about it. I think it's not amazing, but I still think it's better than my initial reaction to it was.
Yeah, Travis and I were comparing this one. There's a card from Netrunner that does almost exactly this. Like a runner card that it's like you get to attack and then like it costs you money to play, and when you succeed you get more money back.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't require the success though, so
yeah, I see it. Oh, we're on to yellow cards. Oh, sorry, Ben, were you going to say something else?
Sorry, I just like you get the money whether you fail or not.
Yeah, which is, and I mean, like as you were saying, blue cards are expensive, right? Is this worth?
Blue cards are expensive.
This might be an easy thing to put in your deck at the start, and then later, if you don't need it, you could side it out. But
yeah, it's also probably like Mark Harrigan's new best friend, because he always ends up with like 1,000 cards in his hand, but no possible way to ever play them all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's go on to the secret cards. We got Solano Fragments. Once again, we might have talked about some of these. This is the Book of Books. It's a 1-cost asset. It's an item in a tome, takes up a hand slot. When you have 5 or more cards, and we did talk about this one, you get +1 book. 10 or more, you get +1 brain. 15 cards in hand, you get +1 book again. Wow, so many cards.
Wow, it's a payoff for what I already do.
Yeah.
Travis is like 15 or more. What happens when you have 20 or more, though?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, no, it's good in the deck that wants it. Let's go to Widden Green. She's the hunter of rare books, which might include the Book of Books. She's a 4-cost Miskatonic
She's the
ally.
agent of secrets.
She is the agent of secrets.
She is. She commits her book symbol. She takes 2 meat and 2 brain damage. While you control a tome or a relic asset, you get +1 book. As a reaction, after you reveal a location or put a new location into play, exhaust Widden Green and search the top 6 cards of your deck for a tome or a relic asset and draw it. Shuffle your deck.
Man. So, I mean, like, pretending that I wasn't going to buy all of them already just for completionist's sake, I would buy this one specifically because this card seems incredible in an Ursula deck.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, it's nice to see support for Daisy as well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
I
she's
mean,
like the librarian, but like not exactly better. Different.
yeah, and you'll probably get like 3 or 4 searches out of her, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, especially like if that's something you're trying to do, you can make it happen a whole lot more.
Yeah, and like then you just strategize as a team, right? Instead of saying, "Oh, I'm going to walk into this location," it's like, "Yeah, can you maybe mind if me and Widden walk into this location first?" Yeah,
Hold on.
I think it's good. Yeah, I think it's nice for those decks. We got Cryptic Writings. This is a 0-cost insight event that commits for 2 book symbols. Gain 2 resources. After you draw Cryptic Writings during your turn, play it.
This is really good.
Yeah. It's like just free resources. And you're going to be drawing cards. And if you happen to draw it, it's just basically a less efficient emergency cache or a perception. So I think that's...
No, it's more efficient emergency cash because you don't have to spend the action.
This card's also sick with the jellyfish egg, but I
sorry.
don't think there's a deck that can play it.
I was going to say, Travis, if you draw it outside... If you don't draw it during your turn, that's when.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's like the worst case scenario, and even then it's still not bad. Otherwise, this card's just all great. Because if you don't need the resources, you just got a perception that doesn't draw a card. And if you do need the resources, just get free resources.
If you're playing Joe Diamond, you could play this in your hunch deck as like emergency cache in the hunch deck. Mm-hmm. It's probably not a great plan, but it's something you could do.
Yeah.
I always wish that my hunch deck had more filler. Like that sounds like a joke, but it's not.
Yeah,
I just want cards that I can play all the time.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like it's just being like it's not a miss, right? And that's what happens. Well, and I watched you guys play Joe Diamond a lot of the time, being like, "Well, this hunch was completely wrong."
Yeah, or we like flip it. We forget to flip it up, and then we're like, it probably doesn't make a difference. It's like, there's no possible way for me to get value out of this.
Like I'll flip it anyway because if it's the weakness, then I guess I have that now.
Yeah.
All right. We got upgraded Cryptic Writings. This is the 2 experience one. It's a 0-cost insight event still. Commits for a book and a wild symbol. Gain 3 resources. 4 resources instead if you have 10 or more cards in hand. And then after you draw it during your turn, play it. So, better?
It's just better.
It'll be interesting to see, like, obviously this isn't for every Seeker deck. 2 experience can be a lot for this color. So I think, like, definitely Harvey Walters wants this when he goes up because he only has cards and he only draws cards during his turn. Also,
this is from his deck.
Yeah, no. But like, would Mandy have any want for this one, Travis? Would it be a priority or even like a mid-priority?
Honestly, probably not.
Because she can just...
You don't really have issues with money, in my experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe you could build a deck that wants it, but...
Yeah. All right, we got level 2. I've got a plan. This is a 2-cost insight tactic. Commits for 2 book and a fist. Fight. This attack uses book instead of fist. You get +2 book for this test. You deal +1 damage for this attack for each clue you have to a maximum of +3 damage. So the difference is that it now gives you +2 book and maybe something to do with the symbols you can commit.
It costs 1 less and it commits for an extra symbol as well, I think.
Seems sweet.
Yeah.
I think
it's fine.
Yeah. Good, like...
like if you're trying to kill things with I've Got a Plan, this is just better.
Yeah, and it's a good late campaign upgrade, right?
Or even mid-campaign if you know the campaign that you're playing.
Yeah, definitely.
And you're like, cool, so we're gonna have to explode this guy in this scenario, so I guess I've got that.
All right, we got level 2 Mind Over Matter. This is a 1-cost insight that commits for a fist, a foot, and a wild symbol. Fast, play during your turn until the end of the round. Add your book to your fist and your foot, and draw 1 card.
Like, this is fine, but I don't really see myself ever wanting to upgrade into it.
So,
usually Mind Over Matter is just like an in-between till I can get one of the untranslated or unidentified things that fills in those holes better.
Yeah, it does. It is a lot better for Ursula Downs because you get to evade at 8 now instead of just evading at 4 anyway.
Yeah.
I think this would be better because I think this would be better in 2-player. Or like obviously in solo, this card would be great.
This card is also probably fairly solid for Roland. Or
Yeah,
Joe.
it's like okay. I think with rolling that you're gonna be wanting to spend your experience. Like my biggest issue with this isn't what it does. I think it's a good card, but like spending 2 experience on each copy of it is like kind of meh.
Yeah. So like for Roland, I would rather upgrade to this than upgrade to the upgraded overpower, because this is just overpower on every attack that I make that round.
Because the level 0, it just your book replaces those stats, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but it does cost you. It costs you a resource too.
Yes, but I get 3 overpowers and possibly 3 overpowers instead of 1. And I still get to draw the card.
I still think that I think it's pretty comparable.
Yeah, I think it's a low priority upgrade, I think, as well. It's kind of like I've got a plan. It's like if you know you need it, you'll take it. Otherwise, you might be like, let's just grab this, right?
You play this in the hunch deck for a Fighter Joe deck. And you're just like, my hunch is that you're going to die this turn.
Boom,
My hunch is 8 punch.
My hunch is 8 punch. Yeah. I love it. All right.
That's probably pretty neat.
Okay, so even here, yellow gets their untranslated stuff. Forbidden Tome is an untranslated 1-cost item relic tome asset. Commits for a wild symbol, takes up a hand slot. It uses 5 secrets. Exhaust Forbidden Tome and spend 1 secret, draw 1 card. Then if you have 10 or more cards in your hand and there are no secrets on Forbidden Tome, you may discard it to record in your campaign log that you have translated the tome. So what the 2 things are... sorry?
Sorry, this is just free for Travis.
Yeah. Well, it costs 5 actions, which I'm like a little bit soft on, but...
let's see what the upgrades are, and then because then we can kind of view this whole package. So we have Dark Knowledge. This now commits for a brain and a fist in addition to its wild. It takes 4 actions. Exhaust Forbidden Tome. Move 1 damage from player card at your location to an enemy at your location. Reduce this ability cost by 1 action for every 4 cards in your hand to a minimum of 1 action. Then we have Secrets Revealed, which commits for a book and a foot in addition to a wild. 4 actions, Exhaust Forbidden Tome. You may move to connecting location, discover 1 clue at your location, reduce this ability's cost by 1 action for every 4 cards in your hand to a minimum of 1.
I think that the Dark Knowledge one is like much, much better than the other one. Mm-hmm. But the other one's like... The other one I wouldn't be upset about getting with my rando thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the Secrets Revealed is insane if you're playing Ursula Downs. You're like, I'll move to this location, I'll discover a clue at this location, I'll investigate for free now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but how often do you just have like a handful of cards? Even if you're at full hand, if you're full hand size, it's still gonna cost you 2 actions.
Sure.
Yeah, you need some sort of serum to enhance your dreams.
I think that like Daisy with all these hand size Daisy is going to be very strong.
Oh yeah.
She already gets a free action for these.
Mm-hmm.
And then she can play. She wants to play a bunch of the hand size garbage.
Yeah. I don't have too much to say on this one. It's not really how I play, so my knowledge is very limited. But I just imagine my dream with Travis, where he had 100 cards in his hand. And then
I think that Dark Knowledge is significantly better than Secrets Revealed, just because, in general, you have lots of other options to get clues and testless damage that also heals you. Admittedly, like you have to have. I mean, you don't even have to have the damage. You can move it from your fighter onto them.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the kind of healing that Travis likes to play.
Yeah, or you could be like B-Cop, shoot that man, and he does, and then you're like, good job, I'll patch you up, B-Cop, now shoot him again. Also, like, I threw the bullet I pulled out of you into him.
The B-Cop's mind unravels before you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I went with you there, Travis. The Dark Knowledge, at least for yellow, the majority of them, is much better than Secrets Revealed, because they're pretty much doing already in Forbidden Tome, for Secrets Revealed, what they're doing with that one, so...
Yeah, the Secrets Revealed seems very good if you're spending 1 action on it, but if you're spending 2, it's kind of like, well...
That's what you're doing.
You know.
You just don't have to make the test.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the Dark Knowledge one, at 2, it's not great, but it's still, like, okay to trigger. The Forbidden Tome one, I mean, it's still just 2 actions then, right? You really don't want to be doing this for 3, I think. Then you're like, what have I done with myself?
Yeah, if you're looking at a scenario where you're going to be paying 3 for it, maybe just commit it instead.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Miskatonic Archaeology Funding. Ooh, I haven't read this card, but I love it already. This is a level 4 permanent grant. A grant. Limit 1 per deck. You have 2 additional ally slots, which can only be used to hold Miskatonic assets. Force, when you take damage or horror, no more than one of that damage or horror can be assigned to a Miskatonic asset.
This is so good.
It's kind of like a fixed charisma, right? Where it's like, after seeing people play with charisma, they were like, you know what we should have done? Had some limitations.
I mean,
Yeah,
this
like
gives
maybe-
you 2 additional ones, though.
It's true,
So
but-
Miskatonic allies are like Abigail Foreman, Art Student, Fatty, Dr. William T. Nelson,
Yeah.
Laboratory Assistant, Research Librarian, Witten Green
Yep.
from earlier, and your big man.
Yeah, no, I think this is I think it's totally fair. Like, I think this is great, but like, it's not
I
as
think this is
ubiquitous.
like really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
It does seem very strong. Like the downside to it of like your allies aren't horror soak, aren't really soak anymore.
yeah, but
It's
like
somewhat
when you
real.
look at a lot of them, like Abigail Foreman's 1/2, Dr. Milan's 1/2.
Yeah.
And,
How
like-
often are you playing more than 1 damage on Pete Sylvester at a time?
And like,
Yeah,
that's why I
uh,
think it's so, like, because yeah, you have so much more. You just have to like spread it out better. But I think it's still just like, this card is very strong, but I think it's just all like good. Like, it's just totally on the
Yeah.
level.
It does also, like the way it's worded, you can only assign 1 to a Miskatonic asset, right? So if you have 3 Miskatonic allies in play and you take 3 horror, you have to take 2 of it.
Yeah, but it's not too like usually the game wears you down. You don't get chunked like that.
It's
too
true.
often.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and that is true, but like just the downside is a real thing.
I definitely foresee more cycles of this kind of card coming. Just, I think this is, we've done it. I think it's great.
Yeah, I like it too. I wish like the drawback was like a little bit harsher, but
Yeah,
I'm not sure
I
what
think
you
as
could
well. Yeah, that's fair to see how it like evolves in actual gameplay, especially because as you from your list, there's a lot of really strong Miskatonic allies, and now they're gonna have to be aware of that going forward, or they just won't and be like, we'll just mutate it if we need to. Who cares? Let's go to the Necronomicon. This card has so many book symbols. This is a 3-cost level 5 item tome asset that takes up a hand slot. It's the Petrus Didactia translation. It uses 6 secrets, limit 1 per deck. As a lightning bolt, spend 1 secret, you get +2 skill value for this skill test. Spend 2 secrets, draw 2 cards. Spend 3 secrets, discover 1 clue at any location. Spend 4 secrets, deal 3 damage to an enemy engaged with you.
man, Petrus is like so much cooler than the other translators.
He's so much better than
He
John
cracked
D.
it. He cracked the code.
But you can have 3 Necronomicons in play. You can have a John D, an Olas Warmius, and this new Petrus Didacia,
That's the dream.
Yeah.
all at the same time. But you need a book bag or something.
I think the effects on the card are all powerful, and if you have ways to add secrets onto things, it just becomes better. If you can pick your book up somehow, I don't even know if that exists, but
If you're able to play green cards, which I don't think there is, I mean, like Rex technically can't.
Yeah, he can sleight of hand this into
Yeah, you
play.
can sleight of hand this into play, burn all its secrets, and then just pick it up.
that's sweet.
That is pretty gross.
So that would be pretty cool.
Do we really not have a yellow-green investigator yet?
No, I don't think there is. There's no yellow-green and no green-yellow.
We're getting green-yellow, aren't we?
Does Finn? Does
Yeah,
no.
like green-yellow is probably in the next cycle here. Finn gets like 5 level 0.
Oh yeah, no, we have to be
or
level
1.
5. You have to be level 5 to get this.
Yeah.
So it has to be yellow green unless
Yeah.
someone else can do tones.
Yeah, so it would have to be yellow-green.
Unless Bryn, we just cheat, as we said earlier. We could do anything we want if
I
we
mean,
cheat.
like we've never let that stop us before.
Yeah, just you guys wait till we meet in person, and for our next campaign, I'd say, here's my custom Charlie Kane investigator. He has 20
man, he
in
does
every
so
stat.
much bonus damage to vampires, though.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to green cards. This is a level 0 lockpick. So 3-cost tool illicit asset. Commits for a book, takes up a hand slot. Exhaust lockpicks, investigate, add your foot value to your skill value for this test. If you do not succeed by at least 2, discard lockpicks.
This card is like pretty fun.
Yeah, I think it's if you're going to put lockpicks in your deck, you now don't need to think about what cards you're going to take out.
Like this is really good to get you through that first scenario or two till you get your good lock picks.
Yeah,
if that's
definitely.
what you're really focused on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is my favorite thing that happens with the game when they give you level 0 cards of good level, like, experience cards. I just think it's nice. I like seeing them explore the design of, like, oh, this is worse, but, still serviceable until you get what you need.
Mm-hmm.
Lonni Ritter, she's a feisty mechanic, don't you know? She is a 4-cost ally asset that commits for a fist. She has 2 meat damage or 3 brain damage. You get +1 fist. As a lightning bolt, exhaust Lonni Ritter and spend 1 resource. Choose an item asset controlled by an investigator at your location. Heal 1 damage from that asset and 1 horror from Lonni Ritter.
Why does my mechanic know how to fix jackets?
Well, a leather jacket is very close to
It's like a motorcycle,
yeah,
you see.
Very close. I think that's pretty good. Like, you
The
obviously
thing that I'm most excited for about these is the idea that they're making like the green fighters real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she's good. Like, she could eventually somehow never die, right? And like, resources ain't a problem for the majority of the green characters.
Yeah, money is not usually the problem.
And she fixes this 2-cost leather jacket. It's an item and an armor. Commits for a fist, takes up the body slot. It's fast and gives you 2 more meat damage. I think Travis has a point.
Seems like meh, but like fine.
Yeah, I think Travis does have a point. Why can she fix a leather jacket? But who cares? She can do whatever she wants.
It's just a hobby.
Yeah. I agree with Travis. It's like nothing exciting, but if you want it, if you need it, it's good, right?
Yeah, like realistically, I don't ever see myself putting this in a deck, but that's me.
Yeah, the thing I like about it is that you can throw it down as soak while you're engaged with enemies.
Yeah.
And being fast means that it basically costs 1 less.
And if we know one thing about Bryn, he's usually always engaged with enemies while Travis and I are doing cartwheels in another location.
Hey, I do serious work.
It's true. It's true. I just taking shots of your dream enhancing serum, and I'm not one to talk.
Yeah, just chugging dream enhancing serum and taking hits off my gay box.
We have Pilfer. This is a 4-cost trick that commits for a book and a foot symbol. Investigate. This investigation uses foot instead of book. If you succeed, discover 2 additional clues at your location. So that's 3 clues for those who can't do math.
Rita can play this.
Yeah.
That's spicy.
Yeah, so that might be real neat.
It's very expensive, but you do get 3 clues out of it, so
yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah, you can play it as Finn and be like, why am I paying 4 for this?
Yeah, like Sophia can play this pretty okay. It's a little pricey, but money's not usually an issue.
No,
Too much of an issue.
Yeah, money is a very solvable problem if you're playing green cards.
Yeah, like it's only an issue if you don't try to fix it.
All right. Level 2 manual dexterity. Commits for 3 foot. It's innate and developed. Max 1 per skill test. If the skill test is successful, draw a card, 2 cards instead if it succeeds by 2 or more.
This is like pretty mad, I think.
I mean, I really like it as part of the all-in set.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I'll add 3 foot to my test, but also like if I succeed, I might just draw like 7 cards.
I think this falls into exactly my mindset of it for the upgraded overpower. It's nice. It's a it's not really a priority, but it's a good thing that if you're at the end and you're like, I guess I'll buy this upgraded manual dexterity.
It's probably really good if you're... Sorry, go ahead.
I think that overpower's like a little bit better just because fist icons are better than foot icons usually. Especially for green.
Yeah. This one I think will be also, I mean, the whole 2 or more is a big part of green as well, so like it'll be easier to get it to hit, but I still think it's nothing to do a backflip about.
Yeah, like it's probably really good if you're playing Finn and you have cards in your deck that you really need to find.
Yeah.
Because this basically just draws you 2 cards for free.
All right. Sharpshooter is a level 3 2-cost talent asset that commits for a fist and a foot. When you use a fight ability on a firearm asset, exhaust Sharpshooter as a reaction, choose one or both. This attack uses foot instead of fist. All modifiers to your fist for this attack modify your foot instead. Use the attacked enemy's evade value for this attack instead of their fight value.
Wow,
Man,
for the
so-
low cost of 6 experience, you can make Skids into a real fighter.
The only thing I want to do with this is shoot people while playing Safina. Like, I thought you were a painter. Yeah, yes.
I don't know. I think I like all the text, but I don't like the firearm part of it. Like, you have to. I mean, if you want it, you want it. But I just think there's a lot there.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some good green firearms in this set, though.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
So, or at least like more green firearms in this set.
I think with this one, I can't grok it until I see it on the table.
Yeah,
And probably.
and there are a lot of
playing it.
enemies who are like, I'm very hard to fight, but I'm not so hard to evade, and you're like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
that's
is
neat.
nice, right?
I guess I'll just shoot you.
Cool. Level 3 Backstab. This one's spicy. This is a 3-cost tactic event that commits for a fist and a foot. Fight. This attack uses foot instead of fist. This attack deals +2 damage. If you succeed by 2 or more, return Backstab to your hand at the end of your turn.
I think this one's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's, yeah. Just a card that doesn't end is very strong. As I'm learning in our current, with my Silas run, it's... And I also found out I was misplaying it, and I actually am even more broken. But if you just get cards back, it's great, right? And you're going to succeed by 2 or more often than not in green because there's a whole thing built around it.
Yeah,
we're
it's an entire archetype.
Yeah, as experienced card game players, we see a card that has draw a card tacked onto it, but you know the card you're drawing is one you already want. And you're like, whew.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think there's much more to
It
say. That
seems
card's
in-
just...
Seems insane with Gregory Gry, where you're like, I bet I can't sneak up on that guy and like stab him a bunch. And Gregory's like, you're on.
And then Greggy's like,
You're like-
stop.
Thanks for paying for this, you idiot.
Now
I'll
let's do it again, Gregory.
Would you like to double or nothing here? Like,
We have the Beretta M1918. We might have talked about this one. I'm not sure. It's a level 4-cost weapon, firearm, illicit asset. Commits for 2 fists and a foot. Takes up 2 hand slots. It uses 4 ammo. As an action, exhaust Beretta M1918 and spend 1 ammo. Fight. You get +4 fists and deal +1 damage for this attack. If you succeed by 2 or more, either ready Beretta M1918 or this attack deals an additional +1 damage. If you succeed by 4 or more, do both.
I think we see this one in our initial review, and we agreed it was pretty good.
Yeah, it seems great.
it does seem pretty solid.
Cool, let's hop on. Purple, we're here. Oh, look at the kitty cat. Scrying Mirror is a 3-cost item charm asset that commits for a book and takes up 1 hand. It uses 4 secrets. After a skill test at your location begins as a reaction, exhaust Scrying Mirror and spend 1 secret. Perform the reveal chaos token step of the test now before committing cards instead of after committing cards.
Yeah, this one's just like premonitions, like
Yeah.
a pile of premonitions.
Yeah.
Dang, we like premonition. So
You can sleight of hand it into play
You could. It's
to
true.
use it for every test on your turn.
I like to imagine the flavor of someone being like, "What?" Like they're like sneaking a mirror, and everyone's watching. Like, what are you doing? Then just like on the mirror, there's just the future. Yeah, I
But
think
the
it's
feature's just them like pulling the mirror out again.
Yeah, they just keep doing it. They're like,
yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's good. Like, I think interested to see how it
3
goes.
money is a little pricey for what it does. but-
Definitely, but I feel like when I say it's fine, I feel like this is one you can start with and feel okay with, right, in the first few. But
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like three money. So the 3 money is like drawing the difference of drawing the 3 cards that would be the other 3 premonitions, right? So like all you're really losing is the action that you use to put it into play. But because it uses secrets, refilling it should be not so difficult.
Doable.
We have Familiar Spirit. This is a creature summon 1-cost ally asset that counts for a brain symbol, has 1 meat and 1 brain. You have 1 additional arcane slot, which can only be used to hold a spell asset.
What do you mean he won't hold my enchanted blade for me?
Come on.
Like, he kind of will.
It's not a spell asset.
Oh, yeah, no.
Dang. I think
What kind of spell assets exist is what I'm going to go find out.
Yeah, so, like...
You want to talk about what this, like, competes with?
So, the cards this competes with are, like, Book of Shadows and Sign Magic.
What? No, this isn't an ally. This competes with all kinds of cards.
Oh yeah, on the ally slot,
for
that's
its
very
effect.
competitive.
For its effect, like it's the same. They're all the same thing, and they all like. I don't know. I'm not sure that I like eating my ally slot for that over.
No, I don't think so. I think
eating like a hand slot.
I think where this card really wins, which for when you want to play this game competitively and win, it serves a very not great purpose. But the flavor of it, of being a witch with a black cat that holds a spell, is pretty sweet. Otherwise, outside of a flavor, I just think there's too many strong allies in purple to warrant this effect for that. Mostly because it's just the way we build our decks and our group, but we're never really like, dang, I wish I had another spell slot, right? We kind of just build with 2 in mind. This allows you
like
to...
a Akachi might be interested in it, because a lot of her spells are like, so Rite of Seeking, Sixth Sense, the new Azure Flames, Shriveling, Shards of the Void.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all spells. Wither, all spells that take up arcane slots. Like maybe you want to have Sixth Sense in play, you want to have your Shriveling in play because you need to chunk down big monsters, you want to have a Wither in play to deal with random garbage.
Yeah.
That's a lot of resources you already have to spend. This thing only costs 1.
And I think with Akachi as well, she gets an additional benefit because her spells come in a bit more juiced up, right?
Yeah.
But
and Akachi can also make better use of the extra spell slot than most, because sometimes she just wants to have a spell in play that's not very good, so that she can burn the charges off of it.
Yeah, with like Torrent of Power or something, or with her for her weakness.
Yeah. I think overall...
like one neat thing this does do over the other 2 that give you an extra spell slot is that it basically lets you turn Charisma into an extra spell slot.
That's true. That is true. But I think the biggest thing is it's a kitty cat, and kitty cats are great. That's my final thought. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, everybody. Let's go to Crystal Pendulum. This is a 2-cost charm asset, also an item. Takes up the necklace slot and commits for a brain. You get +1 brain. After a skill test, your location begins. Exhaust Crystal Pendulum. Name a number. If this test succeeds by that number or fails by that number, draw 1 card.
This is like really good with Scrying Mirror.
And this is also what we've talked about before. It is really good at Scrying Mirror, but like, is it better than Holy Rosary?
No. No, it's not, Travis.
I mean, like if you're playing a skill-heavy Jacqueline Fine deck, it might be.
Yeah, I think if you have constant manipulation, like Jacqueline Fine, it's better. But I think overall you're going to miss a lot more unless you have some control.
Yeah.
Easy.
I think it's pretty meh.
I think we already talked about all these ones as well. I include them here because there are some upgrade versions that we're going to talk about right away. But they all kind of have the kind of same similarity where it's the fight, investigate, and evade with brain instead. And if you reveal, if you succeed, you deal additional damage, discover additional clues, or deal 1 damage to the evaded enemy. And then also, if you reveal a positive symbol, that's where the penalty is, which is damage, horror, and resources, respectively. Respectively, not respectfully. I have no respect for these cards. Any additional thoughts on these ones in comparison to the other spells?
Level 4. Are we on the next? Hang on.
Oh, so for this
these.
one, like Clairvoyance is like level 0 Rite of Seeking, except infinitely better.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Like there is no part of this that I don't think is better than that card.
And what's the difference?
Yeah, I will continue to never play Rite of Seeking again.
Travis is like, yeah, just never again unless I have to.
I just don't want to.
Ineffable Truth in comparison to Misavrella, what's the difference on that one? Because I don't know off the top of my head.
This
They're
one is
both
if you
kinda
succeed,
trash.
you deal a damage to the evaded enemy, and Misavrella is if you succeed, you may move to a connecting location.
Okay, yeah, that moves a lot better than this. It's
Yeah.
not your job to kill dudes if you're trying to run away from them as your purple.
Yeah, like dinging enemies for 1 damage is a powerful effect, as we all know about the Asphalth effect.
Yeah.
Like a lot of enemies they intend to make them difficult by making them have 3 health or 5 health instead of 4 or 2, which is an easy number to kill with your bonus damage. So like plinking enemies for 1 is pretty okay, but I think the movement is generally more applicable.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, like maybe I might play this in like a Luke deck where I don't want to get bogged down with enemies, so I'm not playing combat spells, and like I already have massive mobility.
Definitely,
options.
that's totally fair.
But I still think it's pretty meh.
Yeah, this is also like much better for dealing with cultists or something like that. It does give you that flexibility where you can use it to dispose of something like a rat or a cultist, but there aren't that many purple investigators who couldn't just punch a rat.
It's true.
So there is that.
All right, we got Prescient. It's a practice augury skill that commits for a brain, max 1 committed per skill test. After you commit Prescient to a skill test, name even, odd, or symbol. After this test ends, if a chaos token on the name type was revealed during this test, you may return a spell card from your discard pile to your hand.
Real good with scrying, mirror.
Yeah.
It's true.
I mean, like, there's a bunch of cards that give Jack fine.
Is premonition a spell?
I think so.
I don't think so.
No, is it an augury? It might be an augury.
Premonition.
Travis is on the case, folks.
It's an augury, yeah.
I mean, like this does seem if you can reliably trigger it. Extra ward of protection is never a bad thing.
It's true. But I think this kind of goes with that stupid crystal necklace. Yeah, you need to be able to consistently do it, otherwise you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, these aren't just like good purple cards, they're for an archetype.
Yeah.
Yeah, the main difference for this one is that it is also just kind of good with all of McBride, where you're just like, I'll draw 3 and I'll pick one that matches what I said.
Holy shit, I'm sorry. I was reading Arcane Studies in advance. That card's pretty good. Let's go to Robes of Endless Night, level 2. We have seen the level 0 one, so this one's level 2. It's an item clothing, takes up the body slot, commits for a brain and a foot, takes 2 meat damage. When you play a spell card, exhaust Robes of Endless Night, reduce the cost of that card by 1. Playing that card does not provoke attacks of opportunity.
The level 0 one seemed sick. This also seems sick.
Yeah. Art's
this one's pretty nice.
Yeah, art's still killer.
Yeah.
Level 4 Arcane Studies. This is a 2-cost asset. It's a talent. Commits for 2 brain and 2 book. Uses 2 resources. Replenish these resources at the start of each round. As a lightning bolt, spend 1 resource from your resource pool, or from Arcane Studies, you get +1 brain or +1 book for this skill test.
So, like, I think this is really good, but I also don't see myself buying it too often just because it costs 4 experience.
Yeah, I'm with copy paste that for me. Like, it seems incredible, but I'm probably not going to play it. Just
4 experience is a lot, although what it does give you is like a guts or a perception for free every round, and then the talent on top of it.
Yeah. However, I imagine there's going to be a cycle of these eventually in other colors. I'll take this in like red, lickety split.
Yeah, the blue one would probably also be quite good.
Yeah. I just love that design. I don't have anything else to say. See you later, Beard Man. Okay, here's the upgraded versions of Azure Flame and Ineffable Truth. So the Azure Flame is now +2 brain and deal +1 damage.
It's just upgrade shriveling.
Yeah, it's just upgrade. Yeah, +2 brain instead.
Yeah.
So,
and for Ineffable Truth, these guys want 3 experience for +2 brain on the evasion attempt. Are you kidding me?
yeah, that's a pretty steep price. I think Azure Flame is fine. I think Azure Flame's a fine upgrade. It's just shriveling, like you said. But
so Azure Flame only gives you +2 brain as well, but like that's more Fighting's
Yeah,
better than evading.
it
And
is.
and
It is
honestly-
more important than fighting. More like fighting is also often more difficult than evading.
And then also,
Yeah.
I think if you're a purple character who for some reason doesn't want to take horror, right? Like you're less likely to trigger the negative downside of Azure Flame than you are for Shrivelings, right? So
Yeah.
there is also that.
Also, you usually only need to evade like once in a turn, whereas like if you're fighting, you probably need to fight 2-ish times.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Recharge. This is a level 4 recharge. 0 cost spell. Commits for 3 brain, not bane. Choose a spell or relic asset controlled by an investigator location and reveal a random chaos token from the chaos bag. If you reveal a symbol, or but not the blessed one, add 1 charge to the chosen asset. Otherwise, add 4 charges to the chosen asset.
Is it good yet?
So, like, 4 experience is a lot, but this is a whole lot stronger than the other one where it's just like, draw, if you reveal the wrong one, discard it.
Yeah, if you can
Add
do
3.
bad, get wrecked, nerd.
Yeah. So, like, the flip side to that is if you're playing Recharge on a spell or relic, it probably is empty or very nearly empty. So discarding it is not such a huge problem. Not such a huge problem that I'd want to pay extra experience to offset it.
Mm-hmm.
The thing this does is add 4 instead of 3. It always adds 1 more charge.
So the big issue I have with this card is like, assuming that you have all the cards, why would I pay 4 experience to put this in my deck with the redundancy available now with Azure Flame and True Flame? Like, so if I'm sitting here, I'm like, well, I want to fill up I'm playing this so I can have extra copies of Shriv. Like, why wouldn't I just pay the 3 experience for a level 3 copy of Azure Flame, which does a very similar thing?
Mm-hmm.
And same thing for, like, I mean, like, Sixth Sense, who cares? You're just doing that. But, like, I don't know, maybe you're dumb and you're playing Rite of Seeking or something like that. Why wouldn't I just put in the theoretically upgraded version of Clairvoyance?
Yeah, and also, like, 4 experience is a lot of experience in purple. That's a big commitment when you can grab, like, you're like, that's 80% of, like, that one that Travis is like, the Seal of the Seventh Sign or Elder Sign one.
Yeah. I mean, you can use this to refill the Seal of the Seventh Sign.
That's true. When Brain
Because,
breaks
like,
it.
I don't know, yeah, maybe one of your friends is like, I took 4 actions on my turn and I revealed 5 symbol tokens.
Yeah, who would do that?
Yeah.
So, that's a question I'm not going to ask.
I don't know. It's like I suppose most of this falls into like what kind of relics need charges.
Mm-hmm. I just think it's pretty pricey. Yeah.
4 experience is a lot. Like if you have something worth reloading, you probably don't have enough to afford this.
And then like you play it and you're like, I spent 4 experience and an action to put 1 charge on this Shriveling, which is nice, but that's a lot of experience where I could have like bought a card that literally said, I take damage, but instead I gain health, right? Like, there's just a lot
it's like
of
stuff that uses spells and relics that use charges.
You can use
like
it to
poop
reload
gold.
the gate box.
Yeah.
So that's
Arcane
that kind of
Insight, Archaic Glyphs, Azure Flame, Clairvoyance, Clarity Mine, oh baby. You can use this to reload your Enchanted Blade, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Like, is it only yours? At your location. You can use it to reload someone else's empty vessel. You can use it as, like, an economy thing with Decorated Skull.
Yeah.
You can reload your Grotesque statue with it. That's actually good.
That's nice, yeah.
You can use this to reload your pen to the Queen. That's also actually good.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're playing a Pendant to the Queen deck that can also somehow have access to this, or one of your teammates is playing a Pendant to the Queen deck, that might be a good thing.
Oh wow, you could put more charges on your Song of the Dead.
I mean, like,
But
this card also
why?
gets good if you have, like, there's the Prescient, right? Like, if you can, like, just go all in on this idea of charging up other people's things or your things, it could be good, right? I think I just don't think
Yeah,
this is like a
maybe.
common pickup. I don't think as purple you're going to just be like, you know what, I'm going to grab recharge here.
Yeah.
We go.
Yeah,
No,
if I'm
I
just being
agree.
realistic, I'm never gonna buy this.
Yeah.
I think you have to be in a very specific deck or like a very specific build to ever want this.
Yeah.
It's also sweet with the jellyfish egg. You get to play it and then commit it for 3 brain.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. All right.
Doesn't make it
Let's go on to red
a
cards.
good card though.
We got neither rain nor snow. This is a Stella Clark deck. Commits for 3 wilds. If this skill test fails, cancel effects of the failed test. This is kind of her thing. It's not too exciting to talk about, but it seems strong for her deck. So
I think this is kind of meh in general. Like,
This is
how often are you failing when you get +3 to a test?
with her, always. She is this weird fail thing, right?
Like, maybe if you're degenerate and you play without the taboo list, this is like insane with drawing thin.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Grimm's Fairy Tales is a 2-cost tome asset that takes up a hand slot. Commits for a brain symbol. It uses 4 secrets. As a reaction, after Investigator location fails a test by 2 or more, exhaust Grimm's Fairy Tales and spend 1 secret, heal 1 horror from that Investigator. I think this is one we've already talked about. It seems okay, but not great.
Yeah, so when we determined it was pretty meh.
Yeah, it's just not the best.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's probably pretty solid if you're trying to protect one of your more fragile characters from the Mythos deck.
The only thing is, like, I know, like, this is kind of what red has to do, but part of me sees that I can only heal if someone fails, and my response to that is, but why fail, right? Like, yeah, there's times where you can't avoid it, but, like, this isn't really a game plan, right? This is like a, maybe I can get some advantage when it goes wrong, but even then, like, you're most of the time you're just gonna be healing yourself, which is nice, but I just don't think it's yeah. I think my opinion stays the same.
This card might be cute in like Carolyn Fern because you're gonna be spending time around your allies anyway, and people are gonna fail tests.
That's not bad. That's not a bad point.
Yeah, it lets you heal people without spending actions, which is something you normally have to do.
I also really like the flavor you put in my head of her reading Grimm's Fairy Tales to make everyone feel better. Don't worry, Mark. Let me tell you about this story. We got Mysterious Raven. This is a 1-cost creature asset. It's an ally that has 1 brain damage, and it commits it for a book symbol, which makes sense because the Raven is a poem. As a lightning bolt, discard Mysterious Raven and take 1 horror. Discover 1 clue at your location.
Brennan, it's a Calvin card. Look,
Yeah, it's also a Will Yorick card, maybe.
like kinda taking a horror whenever you use it's a little tough.
Yeah, if you're playing like a meat cleaver build, it's not so bad.
Yeah, if you have a way to like bring it back, like if you're playing a Will Yorick with like Pete, I don't know why you would, but like it's just free clues whenever you kill a monster. Assuming you also have charisma, right? Like
the solo deck I play usually plays Pete as my ally, so then I can use meat cleaver just like for free.
Yeah. I think this card's cute. I like that it's referencing the Raven, but I don't think it's too hot. I think it's good in Calvin, like Travis said, right? Being able to just get strong and get clues for the first little bit, and then be like,
you can also play this in Agnes. That's probably pretty all right.
It's okay. Brent, before we go to the next slide, though, what would you say if I told you that there's an upgrade Cherish Keepsake that's been spoiled?
Mr. Potterson.
Yeah, he gets pumped. He's
Would you
ready
be
to
excited
run.
about that?
Like a little bit, yeah.
What if I told you it was unplayable in Yorick, basically?
I would be much less excited.
Okay, well,
I think
here
he's
you
on
go.
the next slide. Let's go.
That's exactly where I'm at right now.
Cool. Let's start with Mr. Potterson. So this Cherish Keepsake is a 0-cost level 1 asset that commits for a brain, takes up the necklace slot. It's a charm. It takes 4 brain damage. When Cherish Keepsake is defeated by horror, exile it.
Yeah, that's some monkey paw shit for you.
I mean, like it seems really cool if you're playing it in a deck with Joey the Rat, and you can just be like, well, this has 3 horror on it. Guess I'll discard it for a resource.
Yep.
I mean, it's also
Like, it's good if you're actually buying it to protect your brain.
Yeah, like it's a one experience Elder Sign.
Yeah.
Like
That doesn't cost money to play.
Yeah, like if you can tap into, if you have that and you need that, I think this Mr. Potterson like really leveled up here. Like this dude has been working out. But what happens to him when he's defeated? I guess you also should note that, it's if he's only defeated by horror, he's exiled. I think it's great, though. I think that card's, especially with one of the later cards that we're about to see that's coming up here. A Test of Will is level 0. It's a 1-cost event, commits for a brain symbol. Fast, play when an investigator location draws a non-weakness treachery card. Test brain 3. If you succeed, cancel that card's revelation effect.
Card's great for Agnes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I mean, like,
reflects
most-
that 5 brain.
Most red characters have a pretty reasonable brain score. And like, what's the worst that happens? You fail, and
The game plays, yeah. Like,
yeah, like
You
the game
spend a
does
card
its
and a
thing
resource
anyway,
for
yeah.
nothing, and then the game
That's like-
gets to do its thing. But also, you drew a bad chit that's like, take a horde and reveal another chit, and then you drew another take a horde and reveal another chit. And then you drew like some stupid garbage at your location attacks you.
yeah, that would be the worst case, Travis is right.
That would be like actually worst case.
But I think what this does is what Travis is saying with Agnes. It allows you can comfortably put these in at the start and then like make it a lower priority to upgrade them, because this one will hit more often than her, especially if she has a Holy Rosary out, right?
Oh,
Like you're golden.
Yeah.
Like this is basically just another ward of protection with her.
playing solo Agnes, like Ancient Evils isn't even a card.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a game's turn. You look at your hand that has like a Test of Will and Ward of Protection and Deny Existence in it, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, right. Like, go ahead, figure it out.
All right, 18 Derringer. It's a level 2, 2-cost weapon, firearm, illicit item, asset. Commits for a fist and a foot, takes up a hand slot, uses 3 ammo. As an action, spend 1 ammo, fight. You get +2 fist and deal +1 damage for this attack. If you fail, place 1 ammo on 18 Derringer, and the next time you trigger this ability this round, you get an additional +1 fist for this attack.
Card's good.
Yeah, I'm just like, I feel like I went on an adventure there. Yeah, card's great. It's because the basic one, I remember we liked the basic one, and there was a question of how does bullet get back in the gun. How does a better bullet get back in the gun? It's great.
Just sitting there and you shoot them and you're like, normal bullets don't work, hey? How about a silver bullet?
Yeah, I think the card's really strong.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, baby. Let's start with Unexpected Courage. This is a level 2 skill, commits for 2 wild, max 1 committed per skill test. If this test fails, return Unexpected Courage to your hand.
They should just draw you a card if you pass.
Yeah, just to be on like with the other ones. In red, this probably, apart from people like Will York, who isn't actually red, this will probably
he's
pick this up.
Not.
Right? You'll pick this up. It's basically just
it seems like it'll do a great job of protecting you from the Mythos deck with all the tests where they're like, for each point you fail by,
yeah.
you can just throw this at it and you're like, what's the worst that happens? I succeed and I lose my Unexpected Courage? Whatever.
Yeah. It's I think it's crazy in Silas. But as I'm learning, Silas is a lot more broken than I originally thought. I do.
Yeah, like I think this is pretty okay in what's his face, Rich Man,
Preston?
Millionaire, Preston.
Yeah, you fail.
Because you can
every
use it
test.
to like get to reasonable skill levels, and you can actually like play
Yeah, definitely.
fail by 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can also use it to stop the Mythos deck from just exploding you. Where they're like, test foot 4 for each point you fail by, and you're like, oh fuck.
You're like, oh god, I'll take my 3 damage.
Yeah, like however many points I can fail by, give me that.
Yeah.
Granny Orange, she's one tough old bird. She's a 4-cost, level 3 ally asset that commits for a brain and a book. She takes 1 meat damage and 3 brain damage. You get +1 brain and +1 book. When investigator your location would fail a skill test, as a reaction, exhaust Granny Orange. That investigator either gets +1 skill value or -1 skill value for this test.
How
And
many
it's, like,
luckies
really
can you
strong
pack
enabler.
into a single card?
Yeah. I think this card's good.
Yeah. I always look at this and see how it competes with my boyfriend, but I think if you have a deck that cares about this kind of stuff, she's going to do fantastic for you. And she gives you a very relevant... The +1 book can be very relevant comparisons to Pete's +1 foot. I'm just waiting for the taboo list to hit him because it has to eventually. He needs to be. Because it just makes all these other allies, like, you're like... For me, personally, I'm like, yeah, it's good, but I love me my boyfriend. Okay, let's talk about Lucky Level 3. This is a zero-cost fortune event. Fast, play when an investigator at your location would fail a skill test. They get +3 to their skill value for that test. That investigator draws 1 card.
It's good.
It's fantastic. It's killer.
If I have the choice between paying 2 experience for level 2 lucky or just banking it to buy this one, I mean, like, I'm aware that I could, like, stepping stone through it, but I would still choose not to.
Yeah. And I mean, like level 0 lucky is already so good, right?
Yeah.
That if you only have 2, I mean, yeah, you could stepping stone into it, as Bryn was saying, right? But, like, this one is just crazy good. It's 0 cost. And I was telling Travis before, like, in Dark Horse builds, your biggest thing when you're holding a Lucky, because you still put Lucky into your deck because Lucky is fantastic, but you're like, do I take this 1 resource to bank to that maybe I'm going to need to drop for my Lucky? And that especially becomes a risk when you don't have a resource sink. When you have a resource sink, it's a lot easier, but now you don't even need to, like, make that choice. It's like...
Yeah.
You just always have Lucky online. It's incredible. I'm going to be buying 1 million of them. And especially in red, when you have so little need to spend experience on stuff.
Yeah, Justin's just going to buy 2 copies of the red starter deck.
Yeah. Cool. It's fantastic. It's crazy. All right. Last one is Deja Vu. This is a 5 experience. We've done it. We've leveled up to the 5th level tier. It's a talent and it's cursed. Wait. Permanent. In between 2 scenarios of a campaign, reduce the experience cost to repurchase up to 3 cards that you exiled during the last scenario by 1 each. If you're going for that build, this card is amazing for it, right? Like, you pay 5 now to essentially get 3 experience each time, assuming you use them, and if you don't use them, who cares, right? Like,
yeah, right. Like, if the cards you're looking to rebuy are like the Devil's Luck and Test of Will, if the game didn't make you use them, is that really a problem?
Yeah. It's I think I've never played this deck because I feel like this is the piece that makes it so that you can now just do it and feel confident. Especially with that Guiding Spirit. I think this card makes Guiding Spirit like so easy to invest into. Same now with Mr. Potterson level 1.
How much could you tank with Mr. Potterson's?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like, I think this is going to be... I'm very excited to build a red deck that goes all around this. I think that's going to be a really good time. And there's just so much value in there. So much. And we have seen this before. It's a little kitty cat. That's cool. That's all of our the spoilers for today, but I think there's a lot of really exciting cards coming out. Especially, I mean, just give me that level 3 Lucky. I didn't even know when Travis told me that there was a level 3 Lucky. I screamed. I was like, let's go.
He's pretty pumped.
Cool. All right. Well, what do you guys think? People watching this video, why don't you comment down below and let us know any thoughts about stuff or things you might disagree with. Any of that stuff. If you've watched this long, why don't you consider punching that like button and subscribe. And if you're already subscribed and you haven't hit that bell to be notified when we go live. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. And great finish.